Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I am your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. What am I supposed to do? There's nothing to do. Just snow. And we've got Jordan Christensen on the pod.
What a go mother ever!
And we've got Grant Mickle on the podcast.
What the F? Where are my boots? Where are my boots?
And we've got Cameron Mickle on the pod.
How'd he go out with a whimper?
That was good.
Guys, today we are discussing Wind River. You may have heard of this movie. It came out in 2017. It was directed by Taylor Sheridan. It was written by Taylor Sheridan. It stars Elizabeth Olsen, Jeremy Renner, Graham Greene, Kelsey Asbille, or Asbill, I don't know how to pronounce that name, Julia Jones, Teo Briones. Teo was my Spanish name in Spanish class. Apesanaquat? Yeah, that was bad. Apesanaquat.
Dude, WandaVision,
Tentu Cardinal. Oh, wait a second. Am I saying their act? No.
Did you just call her WandaVision? You mean Elizabeth Olsen?
Or Mary-Kate and Ashley's sister. Do you know, after watching her in Oldboy, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love.
She's so beautiful.
Is she in that?
Yeah.
I thought you didn't like the Old Boy. I guess she was the best part of the American version of Old Boy.
So I originally watched the American version first, and I really enjoyed it, and then I didn't find out till later it was a remake.
Oh, so you were duped into liking the movie.
Yeah,
like
because...
not knowing Let the Right One In is a better foreign film than it is.
Yeah.
So. I have nothing against Chloe Moretz or whatever her name was, right? She did fine, but the movie just sucked. It's not even a good vampire movie. Like, it's not a faithful adaptation either. So.
I've never seen the American version, but the foreign version is amazing.
Yeah, it sucked. Heads up. So everybody, let's get... Oh, wait, did I introduce... Yeah, you said it.
Doesn't Wind River sound like it should be like in a song, like a popular song or something? Does it sound like it would be like in a country song or something? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, just drinking my beer on Wind River. That's my best impression of a country singer.
And it will be the last, hopefully.
Everybody like this video. When you heard me singing, if you want more of that, just like this video, all right?
Ty's like feeling like so confident right now. I love it.
That took a lot out of me, though, so I only do it once a podcast. So how about we get into... Cameron, what was
Ty's like, I am the podcast.
I am the podcast.
Got Jordan Belfort over here. Goodness gracious. I'm not leaving. So watching it for the first time, I watched it. I was just talking to Jordan about it, or I don't remember who I was talking to my roommate about it, about how the first time I watched this, I was like, oh, Jordan was single last time I watched this. And very sad. And I was like, now he's got a wife. I was like, times have changed. I watched this on my laptop at like 2 a.m. on Jordan's couch. And I was just like watching this. I was like, oh my gosh, this movie's so freaking insane. And I like wanted to go wake up Jordan to tell him how crazy it was. But I absolutely loved it in the first time. As soon as he woke up, I was like, dude, I just watched Wind River. He's like, oh no way, what'd you think? Loved it on the first watch. So crazy. A lot of things I forgot about on the rewatch. Rewatching it for the pod, I forgot about a couple of the murders. Like I forgot about, gosh, I don't even watch Walking Dead, and I always want to call him Shane from The Walking Dead because that's all you guys call him. I always forget his actor.
John Bernthal.
Yeah, John Bernthal.
Or I said Bernthal, didn't I? I don't know how to say his last name.
Well, even when they find his body, though, I was like, whose body is that?
Yeah, I didn't process it very quick, and then I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, because they trick you, because she knocks on the door.
Oh, last time we saw them, they were just having an argument. He ran off that way, she ran off that way. Never heard of again.
The filming tricks you, because the FBI agent knocks on the door, and it's Shane walking to the door, but then it's a flashback. And I was like, oh.
Grant's like, wait, did she change her race?
Grant's like, is she the Scarlet Witch?
She's the Scarlet Witch.
Oh shapeshifter.
She created a memory and a whole civilization inside the snow tundra place.
No, but yeah, rewatching it on the big screen was definitely really
While
nice.
we're making adventure puns real quick, Hawkeye earned his title in this movie as a freaking
Sniper, dude.
long shot sniper scope. Like, he earned the title Hawkeye in this movie more so than his entire show and Avengers movies combined. Just saying. Yeah. Holy shnikes, the shot of the guy in the fetching trailer. I see him with the sun. He like flies back,
so
lands
good
on the table, and his legs are like over. It's insane. It is the most visceral shot in Assassination I've ever seen. Like, coolest shot ever, dude.
No, but yeah, rewatching for the pod, there was a couple scenes I just forgot about, but yeah, so good. Holy cow. Just an amazing, like, rewatch. Almost a perfect film.
Oh, what's wrong with it, Cameron? You want to get into that?
I'll say this for my nitpicks. Jeez. Maybe the scene could have been, implied.
Yeah, it is interesting that you say that. I have a lot of questions. Not just about So, Jordan, what was it like watching the movie for the first time, rewatching it for the podcast?
First time, I absolutely love this film. I know you guys hate that scene, and I hate it too. However,
Let me make a case for my movies, all right?
Tread carefully. Tread carefully.
I'm just kidding. I love this movie. The tension is so high. I love movies with suspension, and I feel so bad because I didn't really recommend it. I just told Ty one of the most suspenseful movies I saw was The Last House on the Left, and then Ty watched it and was like, why did you do
central
that?
plot point, and like a third of the movie is about so it's like...
Well, but the revenge is just that much more, like, intense. Like, they take it too far.
Dude,
like,
all you need to do is have a scene where a guy closes a door on him. That's it.
I do
That's
agree
all
with
I
that.
need.
Yeah.
That's all I need. I personally don't ever feel like seeing it more or less. And here's the thing. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion.
So
Yeah.
I just think the revenge is so freaking good. The very end, I mean, I know you guys were quoting the part, Cameron, him being, like, getting exact revenge, making him run and do the same thing she did. I don't know. For some reason, that just made me sick to my stomach. Like, I get revenge, but I also, like, at a certain point...
That was
Dude,
so
I thought that was
satisfying.
such a tame, dude. It was tame.
Really? I think you should have just shot
I would have
him.
cut his off and shoved him in his...
No, I would have
fucking
just...
cut his feet.
I would have just shot him.
With a rusty knife and peeled his skin over his head.
Well,
dude.
making somebody just whimper and like a little baby, like I just shoot him, just end it.
Oh my god!
No, dude, he gave her
maybe
the
that's how
same
Jordan would
chance.
have gone out.
He gave him the same chance he gave her that he gave.
No,
her.
you know what's sickening? What Michonne does to the governor.
Oh, did you read it, Grant?
Yes, in the freaking Walking Dead graphic novel. It is very graphic what she does.
Did you read that, Ty? You saw that, right? When she, to get revenge on the governor, because the governor, she took a spoon and then pulled out his eyeball with that spoon.
And much more. It's crazy.
Wow. Well. Oh my gosh. Don't know where all the negative comments are coming
We're
from.
talking
This
about
is an
torture
amazing
or something.
podcast, folks.
I thought I'd bring that up.
It's true. Revenge, dude.
Exactly. That.
You think it was too harsh?
Well, it's the same. Well, I just don't like seeing a villain just whimpering like a little baby, like on the hill. Like,
Dude, it's amazing though.
it made me feel gross to my stomach. I'm like, at a certain point, I'm just like, let justice be God's. You know, I don't know.
I actually have a counter to that, but we can talk about that later. Grant, how about you watching it for the first
Because
time?
it just makes them essentially lower. I mean, it's just they are brought down to his level. Does that make sense? I don't know. I love justice movies, but I'm all for just shooting the guy in the face. Like,
I see. Again, that's interesting. You're saying. See, you're talking about a swift justice. It was pretty swift. The guy made it like 200 feet, if that. What a anyway, that serves him right though, because he was a useless man. And in fact, I think it's really cool that, remember early in the film, Ashley Olsen asks him like, how far can someone make it barefoot in this tundra? And he's like, depends on their will to live. And what's interesting is the monologue.
and whatever you think she might do, she'll do it. She would have done it further.
Right. And what I think is interesting is this guy, he gives this monologue. He's like, why did you do it? Or I don't even know if he asked why, but he's just like, I need a confession from you. And he's like, there's nothing to do out here. I'm bored and there's just no women there. And he's like, he's given up. And in fact, remember earlier in the show with the two brothers, they're like, this place takes everything from you. And in the end, I'm like, yeah, this guy gave up a long time ago, which is why he did a deplorable thing. And that's why he didn't make it very far on foot, because he was already broken by this wilderness. So I really liked that. But so my argument for
I
that,
just don't
yeah.
understand. He like killed all those guys, and he still wasn't like satisfied. He couldn't feel that bloodthirst.
Well, the guy ran off.
Well, he wasn't the one that Jordan. He's like, he wanted him to admit it and then kill him off.
But he sniped every single one of those guys at the hunting thing, and he was like, "Oh, I'm still bloodthirsty."
No, but Jordan, he only attacked the mind you, he was watching for a while. He only shot after immediate defense. So mind you, like the whole shootout happened, and he was already on the hill watching. And it was as soon as like they were under direct attack, which is crazy because like a few minutes go by, he probably was approaching the hillside to get a shot, and then he finally shoots as soon as Ashley Olsen gets threatened to get shot in the face.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, the women out here are spunky. That was my second quote, but I didn't know if I wanted to start off that. Well, I don't know which quote's worse, dude. Guys, freaking, they're all the worst
But
people.
this movie is has amazing suspense. Like, that is what I love about it. I just love this movie.
Hey, open up. Detective's right at the door.
That ends shootout. Seriously. I mean, even the scenes before that, when they first go to that junkie's house and he like pepper sprays them, that was a crazy intense scene.
And then, except for Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner's just chilling in the back with a shovel and just yeets both of those guys so nonchalant. He's just like...
He only eats one and then the other guy trips over him.
Trips over him.
I'm like, Idiot. What an idiot.
He's so nonchalant about it. He's such a bad A.
Yeah. Grant, how about you, man?
So I watched it today, and it was kind of funny because I realized that I walked in on this movie. Either Cameron or Jordan was watching it or something.
Wasn't me.
Well, I ended up seeing like the end scene where like the shootout happens and everything. Possibly.
Oh, I might have showed you that because I was just like, this is amazing.
So it was kind of funny,
Shootout,
like
that's
realizing
awesome,
that
yeah.
that was the movie that I'd seen that scene from, and so. But yeah, like
as soon as Jane gets shot, you're like, oh, but this is that movie. So it still surprised you all the same. I love it.
Oh, yeah, there's so much more weight when
Or
you
Jane.
see the entire film from beginning to end. Because I was just going to skip to the end and just watch that part again. And I'm like, no, it's
Dude,
not as
no,
powerful.
freaking A. Do not skip. There's the scene where they're getting flanked. That is the scariest thing, dude. Everyone's got their fetching guns drawn, dude. You saw it, though, right? That freaks me out. The first time I watched it, I was like, what is he talking about? And then you see the flashback, and you're like, oh, shit. It's like, it's really fun storytelling. It's kind of fun when they do the not chronological, but the flashback right before the pivotal moment where it all becomes really apparent.
Yeah, because then the stakes are raised.
Well, no, and
an
also
all-time high.
I think it's perfect because it's like it plays with your expectations because you're expecting like something crazy to happen, and then you're like, oh, this like cute little love, and then it's like, oh my gosh, and then like it's terror,
Yes,
and
Cameron.
then it just
Yes.
builds up even perfect,
Yes.
like more into that because it's like it subverts your expectations. Aha, there we go. Because like it sets it up to where you're like, oh my gosh, like what's about to happen, and then it's like, oh, we're just gonna go in a backstory, what's happening, and then you're like,
And Cameron,
oh my gosh,
can you
this
believe
is
it? They did
horrifying.
it without even using an unreliable narrator. They subverted our expectations. Sorry.
And they didn't. They didn't say either. This is a flashback, which might have helped Grant.
Yeah, Grant's like, wait, what happened to? Are they now in WandaVision? Is this where WandaVision happens? Yeah, it's
Like, why is
between
it night
the
now?
beginning.
Is she controlling the day and night too? This is Minecraft.
Grant's like, wait, it's nighttime. I'm confused.
where'd the sun go?
We love you, Grant. We're just teasing you, dude. No, but it is funny, Grant. You're right. There is like an opening of a door, and you're like, wait, oh, like it's the same trailer park, but it's not the same person answering the door, nor is it the same person knocking on the door. So, but very, very good. I gotta say, the first time I saw this movie first, and I believe I pushed it all on you very casually because I didn't want to be overbearing and turn you guys off to the movie. But I'm like, in passing, I'm like, you guys should check it out. It's a good movie. I didn't realize that the director, he wrote Sicario, which makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of similarities between those movies. He wrote Hell or High Water. And I just think that's really cool that, these movies have a lot of motifs that are very similar, and his style is all throughout. So I got to give to
And he
Taylor
writes the
Sheridan
best endings. Gosh dang,
Yeah.
Hell or High Water doesn't have the greatest ending.
Yeah, and I want to give that one another shot because I do remember liking the movie, but I wasn't blown away by it like I was this one. This one impacted me much harder, partially because I think it's really beautiful and serene. Like, I love Westerns, and this is a modern-day Western for sure, and an amazing film. So I love rewatching it, and there are the scenes of suspense that build up to it, because I keep thinking, like, oh, there's this awesome shootout, and that's the payoff, but, like, it's over in, like, 2.5 minutes. But holy crap, is it amazing? But it's actually the scenes leading up to it that add the suspense. Like this film is a noir Western where, they're trying to solve a crime. So it's actually part detective, which is why it's got a little bit of everything for everyone. And beautiful, serene nature. Just the places that they're in are just absolutely breathtaking. But
and
so
just
rewatching it was a treat.
And all the little details of them saying, like, I love when he's like, I was just thinking there's so many little details of what it's like out in the tundra, essentially. Like, there's miles to cover, and he's like, I can't even register this as a murder. And it's like, well, we can't get any FBI agents out here, so he'll be all on his own. He's like, well, I'm used to that.
Yeah, it's like, they don't send us help. They don't care about us out here.
It's a
just
lifestyle I'm not familiar with, so all this information of how they live is all new to me. Like, just him out there shooting the wolves, making sure they don't eat the animals, like, that's just something we don't have to deal with here.
Amazing. Again, great foreshadowing about his role in this movie. He literally hunts down a man that preys on a woman, very much like a wolf on a
and
lamb.
so many details that watching the second time I hadn't noticed before. Like, they're like, oh, so because the guys investigating the body after they brought it to the, is he called the coroner? What is he called?
Yeah, the guy that will pronounce her dead and the cause of death.
Yeah, he's like, well, she
I
was
think corner.
it said multiple times, possibly by the same person or multiple people. So you're like, so that was a detail. Oh, it could have been that big group of people. And they also said, what's the closest place to where she died? And they mentioned, oh, well, there's this other place, but it's closed on this day, so she couldn't have been there. And they kind of breeze over the fact that
it said it's closed for the winter, and it's
The
6
winter.
miles away. away.
I think it was 5. But yeah, it's just a very...
Well, they said 5, but she said they ran 6 miles. Cheap. I know my stuff.
No, you're right. She did run 6, but again, he did say it was
5
some
miles
distance away. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 miles. Yeah. But she ran 6.
But
Don't forget.
I love, because on the first viewing, I'm like, I had no idea what was going to happen at the end. But now it's like knowing how it ends. It's kind of fun to see all the clues.
hints are dropped all throughout. It's kind of like watching, what is it, the Wolf Within or whatever? The
Wolf in Snow Hollow?
Is it the Werewolf Within?
Yeah.
Wolf of Snow Hollow.
I know, it made me think a lot of this movie.
Wolf of Snow Hollow. There's a lot of hints dropped all throughout it. But that one was almost like Scooby-Doo-ish. But again, Ty Cummings, you're awesome, dude. Just keep making awesome movies. But this one, I liked a lot because...
You call him Ty Cummings?
Yeah.
Was it Jim Cummings?
Are you
I
just
said Ty
projecting
Cummings.
your name onto everybody?
Yeah, I see a lot of myself in him. Ty Cummings. That's so funny. I did say Ty. I meant Jim.
What the
I'm sorry.
fudge?
Jim. We
Ty's
love
just
you, dude.
thinking his name.
Like a brother.
Ty.
Yeah, you know that famous director Ty Spielberg, just done amazing films, and
Ty Nolan.
Ty Tarantino, Ty Nolan. I think you find that a lot of directors, their names are greatly enhanced by taking on my. So I love the foreshadowing.
Ty
Again,
is Narcissist 101.
I need to just
Okay.
Photoshop your face over every actor in a movie, send it to you.
Yes,
Just like, this is my favorite.
Screenshot me on there. I love it. So let's go around saying 2 of our favorite things from this film. Cameron, why don't you start us off with your 2 favorite?
Okay, my first favorite thing, honestly, is just Jeremy Renner's performance. He's so, his performance is so perfect because I feel like it'd be easy to sort of, I don't know, some people try too hard to try to act closed off or whatever, but I feel like he just does such a good job at playing his role. That's why, which kind of
He
leads...
plays a good cowboy, too.
Yeah, which I'm cast him more as cowboy. Holy crap. And that kind of leads into my second favorite thing. I think the relationships in this movie are just so, I feel like real. That's what I loved about it. Is with his wife, nothing was completely solved through another person dying, and it's just one of those difficult things that you see him trying to work through that. His relationship with his son is complicated because of his job. You can tell he works long nights, and it's just one of those things. And then his relationship with Elizabeth Olsen, I thought was so beautiful. At the end when he saved her life, and then he explains to her oh no, I didn't save your life, you saved your own, and then she just starts crying about how his daughter or the girl ran 6 miles. And I don't know, I just felt like the weight in this movie was so much better than a lot of other movies. And that's why this is, like Jordan says, the suspense is so good. Is because even in quick clips, like they showed with the flashback, it's amazing how quick they get you to fall in love with a character. Because
John Bernthal? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, because John Bernthal...
They're going to run away to an orange grove in California somewhere.
Yeah, just and literally
Isn't that the ending of Identity? Goes to...
No, it's a small boy that murders everyone, Jordan. You might be forgetting.
No, but remember, she wants to run away and own
that
an orange
movie is so
orchard.
dumb, dude. I bet you watch that shit. It's a fetching
Identity's
boy.
amazing, dude. John Cusack.
Horse don't get second chances.
No, but yeah, I just feel like that's why this movie works so well, and why the suspense is so good, because you're so invested in the characters. Because even Elizabeth Olsen, it's you feel for her because you see everyone's reaction to her being a female FBI agent, and they're just man, you're not gonna get shit done in here.
And not even to their credit, it's not like they're a woman, but she came so
By
unprepared. She didn't even have a coat or a coat to stay warm.
Exactly. And coming by herself, and it's and then they can't declare it as a murder, and so she's just trying to do her best, and everyone's just nothing gets done in this town, the law doesn't work, and you're just frick.
It's kind of like someone that goes to Washington and they're like, oh my gosh, this is beyond saving. So, not suggesting insurrection, everybody listening out there. I'm not suggesting you go to the Capitol or your local courthouse and burn it to the ground. Just saying, peacefully assemble. And do better, Senator.
Peacefully assemble.
You have to do better, Senator. Let terrorists kill a few of you every once in a while. I don't know what his point was. Falcon is so stupid. The only reason I keep thinking of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is because Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen are the Avengers. They're half of the Avengers now. So it's funny to see the two of them team up in this film. But
I could just see the Falcon on the airplane of the boys when the terrorists are on the plane saying they're going to take it down. Somebody being like, I'm going to take matter into my own hands, and then him grabbing the guy on the shoulders. No, we let him crash this plane.
Yeah. Dude, that's such a good scene in Homelander.
Grant, you go. You say your 2 favorite.
When is Boys season 3 coming out?
No, good question.
I don't know, but I saw a teaser for it.
Well, so I agree with Cameron, so he stole mine. So my other one is, I love his white
What did I steal?
Jeremy Renner's performance is really good. And
Oh, so now you're gonna say 3 other things?
no, I'm just saying that you stole mine. That's all I'm saying. So my other one.
Cameron stole mine, so let me give 3 others.
Oh, boys, come now, boys. Stop your fighting. I have to separate you.
Also, sorry, real quick, just to expand on my relationship. Sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I just remembered. Also, like with the brothers, a perfect example when he,
I thought he was kidding.
like when he finds out his sister dies, because you're just like, oh, what a loser, and then you realize like, oh wow, like that's genuine like sadness that's coming from him. You're just like, he's just so distraught, like, because I mean, it doesn't matter how far disconnected you are from your sister, like hearing that she got like murdered is literally like the worst thing you could hear, and so he was just like,
Wait, whose sister? Sorry, wait, who's? Oh, the
guy
other
who's
guy.
being questioned by the
yeah.
FBI. Yeah, he's like, why'd you say
Got it.
was? Why'd
Yeah.
you say was?
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, that was a good scene.
Continue.
I think just Corey, Jeremy Renner's character, his getup, his like hunting wilderness suit that he has with his rifle, I think is just super dope, and he's a really good shot.
Never has the proper holding a rifle and gun safety looked so macho. You know, usually it looks so wimpy, like you cross it over your arms and don't have it pointed at anything you don't intend to destroy. But it was, dude, he looked awesome, dude. I harkened back to, or I was taken back to,
I think it helps when his get up is like the dopest thing ever.
to 28 weeks later. Yeah, like Jeremy Renner is now getting typecast as like the long range bowman / sniperman. Like that's literally all he's played now. Like in Jason Bourne, he didn't have enough long range rifles in that movie. I think he tried to get up close, but see, they're like, no, at a distance, Jeremy Renner, at a distance. I guess people can just enjoy him at a distance. I don't know what he's like personally.
Well, and then he's a freaking ninja when he captures that guy. The guy's just like, ooh, what's going on? He just like shows up, like shoves the butt of the gun into his face. It was hilarious. But then that leads into my second favorite thing.
That's right. Yeah, he's all like,
Yeah,
in the forest. Yeah,
the sweet justice that is served at the very end of the movie. I love that because like I love how, at least for me, the way I saw it, it kind of felt like he wanted closure for himself, that solving this case and getting someone to admit it was for him getting an answer for the answers that he didn't get for his daughter's death. So that's why it kind of seemed more like it wasn't really for like, I mean, it was for that girl who died, but also more so I think for his daughter, and kind of wanting someone to carry that like kind of answer that he died, you know.
for sure. I think that's interesting too, because I still think it took great composure. Like, I feel like in some of these kind of films, you'd have a lot more, you know, I don't know. Like, notice when he was asking him, he wasn't like torturing to get these answers out of him. Like, this guy, he took his lessons to be less likable from the people in the movie Circle, okay? Right before you're about to die or you're on trial for your life, you don't start saying the most despicable, horrible things. So this actor's name is James Jordan, and he's been in other things. But Jordan, see, you know, you share a name with this guy, you know, not there's
well, but I'm not projecting my own name onto other people.
That's right. No, I just thought I'd point that out because, you know, my name so synonymously goes with amazing directors. Yours goes with this. So, I don't know what I'm trying to make. I don't even know what point I'm trying to make here. Anyway, James Jordan, he's in shows like Yellowstone, which I've heard great things about, and I want to watch it now.
Yeah.
What?
I said I have too. I want to watch it too.
Oh, I thought you said Limestone. You're like, Limestone? It's like, no, it's called Yellowstone. Anyway, and Kevin Costner's I've heard is great in it. And anyway, so James Jordan is in it. And I am interested to see that show now because I've heard great things about it. But
I'm shifting the podcast. Now let's just talk about Yellowstone.
yeah, and now, coming on, we have James Jordan, everybody. No, he's not here. But anyway, So my two favorite things were the relationship. You guys mentioned this, but I really liked the monologue where he's explaining to his friend that lost his daughter. He tells him, like, look, I used to go to these, he's telling Martin, he's like, I used to go to these counseling meetings. I thought it would help or whatever. And I don't even remember if it was what he said or how he said it, but he's like, just take in all the pain. You know, the good news and bad news. The good news is, or the bad news, you'll never be the same and it'll always hurt. But the good news is, if you live through that, you'll be able to
and if you embrace the pain,
everything from her first steps to her last smile,
live with her memory. Yeah.
Embrace the pain, and then you can live in those memories with your child. And I'm like, that was really powerful and really well done, just because, again, they're they're mirror images of each other, where he lost his daughter previously. And again, the poem that they read is really beautiful. You know, it's just so beautiful. And at the very end, like, you hear like whisperings in the wind. I don't know if it was the soundtrack or something, but you hear her say like, I see, or like, through my eyes. And I know it, and it's weird, it's right as the villain was dying. I don't know, but I think it was a whispering from beyond the grave for the daughter or the victim, you know, being avenged or whatever. But anyway, I just find the wilderness to be a really cruel place, which is why I liked it that it was the villain, or not the villain, but the thing that killed the villain at the end, because the wilderness is a very, very difficult place. They say, again, this place takes everything from you. That's one of the Native American boys says after they're arrested. He's like, this place takes everything from you. And I just think that's such an interesting quote. Like, I'm very fortunate I grew up in places that are cold, but I don't feel like they're draining, or like, and there could be a lot of reasons for that. Like, he lives in a world filled with crime and drugs and stuff like that, and there's no help from the outside world. So just really shed light, like you said, Jordan, on an area that I'm very unfamiliar with. So I really like this movie, and it made me more empathetic to people. That would just suck to live there, man. Just move inland, okay, guys? It's just easy. Take up your gun and move somewhere to, you know, McDonald's is 10 minutes away. I'm just saying. But yeah, just absolutely blown away. And second, yeah, I mean, as far as noir, western, and action, it's got the three, and it does them exceptionally well. Like, this movie is a great mystery, and it's a great suspense builder. I already mentioned one of my favorite scenes of suspense is when all the detectives meet up with these security guys, and they're like walking toward the shed, and then one of the cops, like, he seems to be freaking out of nowhere, right? He's like, hey, whoa. He's like, they're flanking us, and they all draw their guns on each other, and you're like, what is going on here?
That was so bizarre.
It seems out of, no, but then what's so great is everyone's like, put your gun down, put it away. That's an order. And then, like, he's like, you saw it though, right? That scene, it's just chilling even when I say it now, because he's like, he was very aware of what was going on. He's like, they are surrounding us. And like, this is, they're going to execute us.
I didn't even catch it. I'm like, what is going on?
He was very aware of what they were doing, and all these guys were aware. They were like, these guys are coming to investigate.
Maybe like
we're
a
not going to be
wolf?
able to get away for this. Exactly. It's very cool that you mentioned that, Kevin. You stole my point. No, I'm kidding. You're exactly right. Because at the beginning of the movie, there's the wolf, and then again, the hunter off in the distance, he protects the lambs. So anyway, I just love that. And again, the foreshadowing with everything's just a very poetic movie. It's very beautiful and very stoic. So absolutely love those things. Jordan, how about you? Two of your favorite things?
I was going to say, I love this because it reminds me of Insomnia. No, but I do love, like Ty said, noir. I love a detective movie where you learn little details throughout and it's slower paced. And I love a good movie that has an amazing payoff. And goodness gracious, does this movie has one of the best payoffs in film history. It just reminds me of an ending that would make Quentin Tarantino happy, you know, just
Jane, get away from the door. Boom.
Just one of the craziest. And then building that tension right before that. Like you said, it seems so odd, but once you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, they were surrounding them. Like, it's just not something, because I'm not a cop, it's not something I would be aware of. Like, oh, they're slowly trying to get behind us, you know, and essentially take us down.
Surround us, yep. Execute us.
Yeah. So this movie has like two of my favorite scenes. And as badly as I want to keep rewatching those scenes, it's really important that you do watch the rest of the film, because that makes it that much more impactful at the end to have
Are you
that
suggesting to watch the painstaking details? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm talking about all the build-up before that.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like, the shootout is cool, but adding all of the emotional weight on top of it,
Yeah.
it's very drives it home. And again, that scene is so horrifying. Like, it is a horror movie. It's like, it plays so innocent, and you're like, what happened to this wonderful couple? Because they said they fought. And then you're like, no, they never fought. These guys come home, and then they like, let me just get it up.
Oh, he was the worst.
Yeah,
Talk
they come
about
in
greatest
drunk.
villains of all time. He's up there.
James Jordan, dude. His name, yeah, you know. Think about that, Jordan, for just a second. James Jordan.
Dude, what a great kick from John Bernthal right to his face. I'm like,
He went full Punisher mode on him, dude.
Well, I don't know if he...
Have you seen Shooter, Ty? This has a similar ending to Shooter.
Yes, I've seen
With Mark
Shooter.
Wahlberg, yeah.
Wahlberger.
I'm an inventor. I invent things.
Waller.
Maybe not. Maybe go... Best quote from the entire movie of The Departed, dude.
No, dude,
Do you have a plant, or what does he say? Do you have an informant? Maybe. I can quote it again and again. It's just never not be funny. So anyway, I think you're a fake cop. Now I'm quoting the other guys. Anyway,
when your piss hits the urinal, it sounds feminine.
So, in the end, do you guys have any quotes you wanted to throw out about this movie? Look through your notes.
I did just love when he talks about like that people don't like luck doesn't exist out here, and how it's very much like the will to survive.
Luck don't exist
luck
out here.
exists in the city, and then that kind of that whole speech, because I thought it played in really well to.
I don't remember that quote, but I'm like trying to remember. But yeah, it's great at the end.
Or at the end when he's having that like discussion with the dad. I just thought that was really cool too. And
I love Jane in the hospital bed. She's like, she ran 6 miles, and he's like, it's wild because her determination to survive, which is so tragic that she literally leaves John Berthnall's character behind, and they're beating him to death. It's so horrific. Like, I mean, I can't think of like a couple murdered because these men came home drunk and got upset and were acting completely out of line, and then one thing led to another, and it was just horrifying. And what's so despicable is like I couldn't even possibly believe that there'd be enough men to go along with it. And then I just hear him say, like, you know, he just was broken by this place. He's like, I'm out here with nothing to do. You know, it's not my fault. Like, who could blame me? And I'm like, are you seriously justifying this right now? Like, it's so despicable. That's why I drew upon the movie Circle. It's just like, that B had it coming. Like, where, like, how? Like,
I'm
what
so
happened
glad
to
you mentioned that it's the
that
same person that wrote Sicario as this one, because that girl, the main girl, she reminds me so much of the girl from Sicario. Like
Emily
that whole
Blunt's
scene
character.
when
yeah.
she's like
Emily Blunt, yeah.
when she's investigating the home, and she's like, I need to speak to your wife, and then when she goes in there and the wife's just like cutting her wrists, like,
Oh my gosh.
like
yeah.
it was kind of like
So
like
sad.
an eye opener, but also just like reminded me of her character from Sicario. Like,
Jordan,
this is how we're supposed to do things, and
Yeah.
And Jordan, it's
like,
it's
this
so
is what we do
similar
things.
also from Sicario, that first scene when Emily Blunt goes into that house and she almost gets shot and she like ends up shooting that guy in the head as she falls down.
Yeah.
That's a very similar to when she goes over to investigate and then she gets pepper sprayed and then is like walking through with and you see her visibility and
blurred
it's freaking
vision.
terrible,
Yeah, that
and
was
it's like,
cool.
oh friggin', she's gonna die. I hate this.
Yeah, I think Taylor Sheridan likes female detectives, dude. But no, maybe it's like out of respect, you know. But I like that because
Well,
there
and
is
it's
like
fun too that Shane is in both those movies, and
John Bernthal.
they're interconnected.
John Bernthal is in both of them. That's funny. I didn't think about that. He was also in The Walking Dead. He literally called him Shane. Come on, dude. Has he not earned your respect to learn his name yet? It's just funny to hear you call him Shane. Anyway.
I wonder if he read the script and he's like, oh snap, it's the same writer. Are you kidding me? Of course I'm gonna be in this.
He's like, hey, I can finally be a good guy. I'm not the guy that's taking Rick's wife. Someone's taking my wife or my girlfriend, I guess. But
Jordan, you know what's funny is I rewatched like the last hour of Sicario with my roommate because he was watching it. I honestly like Sicario better on the second watch because of like.
Oh yeah, it gets better.
Definitely. Keep watching
It's
it. Because
amazing.
Danny Villeneuve, you have to rewatch his films.
Well,
Like,
and plus
like-
the first time I was like, wow, that was dark as shiz, and I think I need to like, repent. And then like watching it again, I'm like, oh wow, like
I
because
still need to repent, but oh, sweet glory.
yeah, it's insane, dude. I love.
Oh,
what's the Mexican guy's name? He's so good.
Yeah.
Del Toro.
Oh, that's,
Benito del
that's
Toro?
Benicio del Toro, right?
Yeah, Benicio del Toro, dude. Him and what's his name?
And he did it without stuttering.
Josh Brolin.
impressed.
Them together are such a good combo.
Yes. Two cool buddy cops. And
Dude, that scene when he beats up Emily Blunt is so insane. When he's just like, I'll put 2 bullets in you and I wouldn't think twice about it. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Except I think he really should have choked Emily Blunt.
Oh my gosh.
She was faking it.
all right. So
Well, I was just saying that because there's another YouTuber that said that because Inglourious B, like Quentin Tarantino actually got down and was choking that girl so her face was turning red.
Oh my gosh.
oh wait, Christoph Waltz, you mean?
Yeah, well, no, but that was Quentin's hands that was choking her.
No way.
Yeah, because he's like, because Christoph Waltz was like, I'm not gonna do this, and he's like, I need you to make it look real. Like, I need you to choke her.
Gosh. Oh my god. Dang, it's insane.
Because he's just like, I don't like it looking fake. He's like, too many movies, the girls just go, and it's like so
And the
fake.
actress was like, yeah, go for it, man. This is great. And then she died. It's like, thank you for your method acting. And it's like Leonardo DiCaprio, all he had to do was cut his hand on the glass, but I had to get choked out. And then Glorious, that wasn't fair. Poor girl. Man, women get such they get the short end of the stick, if you will.
Yeah, and then they get shot on set with.
Or strangled, apparently. Jeez.
Oh, I was talking about with what's the guy you keep thinking jokes about? I'm not gonna bring it up. Never mind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, good. We don't need to talk about it.
All right, guys, would you recommend Wind River? Absolutely. This movie's amazing. It's a harsh movie though, just like The Wilderness. So watch the movie, put the kiddos to bed, which means don't watch it with your kiddos.
Yeah, well, up until that ending scene, like I was like, oh, this could be PG-13. I could recommend this to a lot of people, and then
I know, it was pretty slow.
and then that scene happens, and I'm like, oh, okay. This is
Yeah, followed by the most murderous, violent shootout like in a long time since like the Tarantino film.
Django Unchained. Yeah.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah, this would have been after Django. It would have been after, what was after? Was it Hateful Eight? So still, yeah, after Hateful Eight. So it's like the most violent thing I'd seen since Tarantino's last film. So, but would you guys recommend it?
To a select number of people.
No, I mean just watch it. It's got adult themes like we've talked about here, but it's an amazing film. Definitely recommend.
Well, it's all going to be bleeped, so they're not going to know. They'll be like, I don't know what the big deal was, and then they'll watch it and they're like, oh, what the heck?
Let me explain something to you. This movie contains, and if Jordan's going to edit it, let me spell it so the kiddies that are listening can understand. Okay? Like a really horrific, so.
I wonder if I should just substitute the word just like I did in Future Quest.
I actually literally thought that when we were talking about it. I was like, this reminds me of Jordan's episode where he's like, kill.
Really?
He kept saying it. It sounded so funny because Jordan was editing the word for kill, and so every time Clinton or somebody said the word, Jordan
Well,
kept saying,
I'm going to do that again on our episode of what's the one we did where they to pass the thing? It follows. So
It follows?
Yeah, I'm going to change the word with transfer. So I'm just going to transfer.
Why? Dude, you don't need to edit. This is not the problem.
It is
we
the
can
problem,
talk
sorry.
about it. I'm
No.
not being derogatory. Like, it's a part of life. Everyone here is married. Oh, except you, Cameron. Sorry. But he doesn't understand what we're talking about, but that's okay.
We think.
Yeah. But anyway, no, I don't think you need to edit that out. We don't need to stigmatize
Anyways,
that.
sorry, this is a whole nother conversation.
No, wait. Okay, yeah, we'll have to talk about this after. Don't.
It'll be
edit that
funny.
out. No, it's weird because again, we're stigmatizing something. Anyway, whatever. Okay.
I don't care.
It's a good thing between. Why are we acting like it's a bad thing? I don't
It's
understand.
like, Mom, it's a good thing. We know.
It
You
is.
don't have to
I just
say
don't
it,
understand
though.
this.
It's
Like, well,
annoying.
don't talk about it.
Go on. Continue.
All right,
So
let's
anyway, how is your life, Grant? No, it's confidential. I can't tell you. Anyway, how's your life? Oh my gosh, dude. Tell me myself.
All right, Ty. Grant, what have you seen lately? What are you looking forward to?
What have
Yeah,
I
Grant.
seen lately?
What have you seen lately? What are you looking forward to?
Me Before You. That was all right.
Don't get me started. Every time you guys bring up this movie, what an
Yeah, why did
idiot
you have
for
to die? That was
sacrificing
kinda
himself.
dumb,
What a
but-
selfish thing to do. Amen.
Who you guys talking about? The cop?
No, Me Before
Me
No,
before you.
Oh.
Cameron's for euthanizing disabled people. He's like, yes, the fewer the better the world will be.
No,
right?
dude, he was living in such pain. I got fudged. Dude, I would have killed myself in that same position.
Maybe it's because I'm so unempathetic. I'm like, he should have stayed alive, but I don't know.
Nope. Too much pain.
There's so many drugs today. He could be freaking like tweaking out in a chair. He would have been fine. He wouldn't feel anything, dude.
Yeah, he wouldn't be
Get
able
some
to.
Oxycontin, Oxycodone, or whatever.
Cotton? What the fuck?
Oxycontin or Oxycodone. I don't know. Both of them are painkillers, dude. Get him some freaking gabapentin. Kill those nerve pains, and then he'll be like.
Yeah, and then he won't be able to freaking communicate with his woman that he stayed behiend for.
What I'm saying is, she fell in love with him. This movie would have been more interesting
Stop,
if
no
they
one
knew
cares.
each other
Okay.
before the accident. That's all I'm saying. Would have been more interesting before.
And then I watched Pride and Prejudice Zombies.
Dude, pretty funny, right?
It was
Pride
actually
and
really
Prejudice and
good.
Zombies.
It's like
That's funny.
it like totally embraces that it's like supposed to be comical. It's pretty good. And then rewatched three.
I'm glad it embraced that.
And then watched Three Amigos. It actually wasn't as rewatchable, but it was still funny though.
What?
Like, well, because
It wasn't as
the
rewatchable?
reason being is because I watched
because
it with Elise.
you and your wife
I
don't
watched
have
it
Grant
with
didn't like the
Elise,
joke where he mentioned
and, like,
that was very.
I don't know. She just like didn't laugh very much. So I was like, that's not fun. That's whatever.
That's why it wasn't rewatchable. Is you
Oh,
watched it
I
with the
know.
wrong
That's why I was
crowd.
explaining.
Sure, Grant, you're not very fun to watch movies with, except Venom. Somehow you're like so much fun to watch Venom with, but how is it like an actual
Well, no,
comedy?
I was laughing.
You're
but,
not
like,
fun to watch it with?
Yeah. Anyway.
And Elise was crying. She's just sitting like whimpering in the corner, and you're like, it's supposed to be funny.
I'm still here, Waffle.
We watched Dear Evan Hansen.
I grew up watching this. This is part of my identity.
The what?
Dear Evan Hansen. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a musical.
No, the play. I heard it's terrible.
What?
Sounds like you're whipped, Grant. You have to watch all these dumb things. Just tell your wife that you're
No,
not
I
interested.
thought it was pretty good. It's about suicide. It's about other stuff,
I'm glad you
like
enjoyed that. Grant.
depression and stuff. I don't know. It's hit close to home, I guess.
Wow, sounds like a great time.
So
Sign me up. Where can I get my tickets?
You sound like Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Oh, wait. Suicide and depression. My goodness. I can't imagine your Netflix history, Grant. My goodness.
Yeah, that's been pretty much it.
Yeah, they need to have more inclusive genres on Netflix, you know, like I cut myself and bleed or something like that, you know?
Oh my god.
They have everything else. They have every other category.
It's so evil.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's like emo. Just emo movies. All right.
Holy shiz.
Grant, you need to look up Emo Elmo.
Yeah, Tickle Me Elmo or whatever. He cuts
It's
himself.
a Tickle Me Elmo, but it cuts its wrist. It's like,
Is it a movie or is it a YouTube video?
No, it's a commercial. It's a fake commercial.
for, yeah.
I watched a little bit of Fun with Dick and Jane. Super stupid, but pretty funny at some moments.
Yeah, that movie just does not work. I mean, it should, but I don't know.
I thought it was funny.
Alec Baldwin was funny, which is weird. And he wasn't as lethal in his other films, you know? He was much more lethal in his performances.
That was
gosh.
literally what I was talking about earlier, Ty. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want you to.
Wait, Fun with Dick and Jane?
No, I was talking about Alec Baldwin. I was making the joke about a girl getting shot on set.
Alec Baldwin was in the trailer? Oh, that's not funny, dude. Too soon, guys. Seriously.
And then I also watched Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which I thought I had watched, but
Dude!
ended up,
I just watched all three of those, too. I just watched all three of them. Are we in sync?
we are. And
Dude, what'd you think?
I was telling
Have
Jordan
you,
I was
have you seen all
surprised.
three of them, right?
Well, I'd seen two. I'd seen for sure two, maybe three, but I'd never seen one, I guess, and it was really good. James Franco
When he
was great.
first talks,
It's good.
when he's like, "No, that was crazy."
Yeah, Rise is amazing.
No!
Yeah, when he says
Done.
no. The one thing I was messing with Jordan that I thought was really funny is when he leans in and he's like, "Caesar is home." Just the way he whispers with those monkey lips, I thought was the funniest ish ever. I was dying.
Caesar is.
That's funny.
And then I watched He Loves Me Not with the family, which was
I did too. I watched this movie. I want to
Interesting.
know what. So now that we've all seen it, right? Or Grant,
Yeah.
have you not seen it? Grant, doesn't matter what Grant thinks. If you want to trick your girl into watching a romantic comedy that slowly turns into a psychological thriller horror movie, watch this movie. Look no further than this 1990
It's so
film.
good. I love it.
Or 99, it was like 97 or 99 or something like that. But anyway, yeah, he loves me not. Newsflash, he loves you not. He doesn't know who you are. Like, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
kinda
What do you guys think about it?
cringy acting, but pretty good plot.
How would you know? You don't speak French.
Yeah, it was great acting, I thought.
I did not think so.
I will give it to you that I got...
Cameron wouldn't know because he was on his phone the whole time.
I will give it to you that I got a little bored with the idea that they were literally repeating everything a second time. I was like, oh, like, I get it. Every single thing is a misunderstanding. I was just like, oh, let's skip to the end. you know?
It was like Joker on steroids when they did that scene to show that everything was a lie. It's like that, except for 45 minutes. Like, see, this scene, it wasn't real. This scene, it wasn't real. And I'm
Or it
just like,
didn't mean what
okay.
you thought it meant. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just finished Possessor. Holy shit.
Wait, real quick. I want to just talk about the ending, though. I love when they pulls away the dresser and all of her pills and medication are on the wall, and she's made a mural out of this guy, and it's
Yeah.
like, she's clearly not better. She's not rehabilitated, and she's going back out into the world. Thankfully, he knows
No,
that.
Ty, she's completely cured.
But thankfully, he knows who she is, and he can, like, watch out for her because he knows that she's violent because she literally hit him on the head, which was a real big shift. Like, I guess if you're so heartbroken, you're willing to
No,
kill
it's not,
him 'cause-
Ty. She killed the baby, too.
I know. She ran over the mother, the pregnant mother, with her scooter. It's insane. I know. Thankfully, they don't show it because that is so horrifying. But
What?
even talking about that, that's very French, though, right? They're like, yeah, vengeful women
Except
attacking.
it's shocking in a French film not to show. I was like, what is going on? This is not
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve.
I was surprised by that, but then I'm like, maybe they tried to appeal to a larger audience, and maybe they had two cuts of the film where the guy laying down that they were painting, she's like, oh, I'm painting this person. They're like, oh, well, you have to paint the model that we brought here for you, you know? I thought that was kind of funny. Like, maybe there's a version of this movie where he's sitting there, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Not that I've thought about this for too long, even though I'm mentioning it on the podcast now.
And then I finished Possessor, which I definitely recommend
Holy
the rated
crap.
R version over uncut because holy one too many
Talking about
penises
hot
I
poker.
saw. Yeah, and when he scoops out the eye.
I couldn't find the rated R version. Like, even in the theaters, I saw the uncut version. Cause
The R is only on streaming platforms, and then uncut is like everywhere
else.
media accessible. Yeah.
Cause I
But
couldn't find
yeah,
it.
I needed to watch a 30-minute explainer video because like the last third of the movie, I was like, I'm confused. Who's
What
in
is
control?
happening?
Who's not in control? Yeah, and then like watching it and explaining that she's essentially like killing those people, and that it was all a ploy to get her to kill off her last connection, so she's the ultimate killer. I was like, holy fudge. So it made me appreciate the movie a lot
I
more.
love Cronenberg movies.
Dude, it's like Treadstone all over again, right? It's like freaking Jason Bourne or, all the assassin, like this one, dude. I'm like,
Yeah,
that is dark.
Except, I don't know if I would ever recommend it to anyone ever to watch. But that
Dude,
scene, dude, when
so
he's
good.
like, when she stabs Sean Bean in the mouth with the poker and like twisting it, I'm like, oh my goodness. And then try to poke out his eye with the poker. I was like, what am I watching? This is some Game of Thrones freaking violence. Goodness gracious.
Dude, that's David Cronenberg's son being like, I have to prove myself.
Yeah, I've got to one-up my dad.
This one's for you, Dad.
Yeah, but that was insane. I really like that guy actor who is fighting for control.
Yeah, he's
what
cool.
else have I
What
seen
else
in
was he in?
I feel like he's in the Black Mirror.
Speaking of Cronenberg, Ty, have you seen Eastern Promises yet?
Eastern Promises. No. Dude, I've been busy. I've watched so many movies. I can't wait to start sharing them with you guys. So
Oh, he's from It Comes at Night. Oh my gosh, that's dope.
that's what it was. Thank you. Yeah, he was the other guy. He was the father of the other family.
Give your ratings really quick on those. Like Possessor, what would you give it out of 10?
Oh, originally gave it a 6, but then like after watching the videos and kind of talking about it, an 8. But never would recommend. He Loves Me Not 6. Rise of the Planet of the Apes 8, and then Fun with Dick and Jane 6.
Dawn? What did you give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
I don't know.
A 9 because it's way better than the first one.
No,
baby.
I disagree.
I need
Second
to
one is the
rewatch.
best. Second one is
First
the
one's the
best.
best.
Then the first one, and then the last one. No offense to War, but the War was lackluster. Not that I need lots of explosions, but when your sequel has an ape, a Kimbo jumping through flames, firing, come on, guys.
Okay.
The War has to be kind of cool, not just suffering on a cross. Like
I
I'm
gave
sorry,
Dawn a
Caesar.
7 out of 10, where I gave Rise 8, but I still need to
Rightfully
rewatch
so.
it. The last time I watched it, I was 16 or 17.
What did he say? Does he agree with you and thinks that one's better?
Yeah, well, he gave 1 an 8, 2 a 7.
But,
Oh, my word.
But I haven't rewatched 2 yet, Ty. The last time I watched it, I was 17, so.
Definitely
Or
rewatch
16.
it because
Yeah.
Gary Oldman's performance is unbelievable.
Oh, no, I
And
know.
he's in
I
it for,
agree with that.
Barely.
I
But
just
the film itself...
The visuals, there are so many jaw-dropping visuals.
Ty, all I remember from Dawn is the dual-wielding machine guns on the horse with a monkey, which I was like, that's the dopest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then...
I want to be a screensaver, dude.
yeah, and then I just remember the orangutan. That's it. That's all I remember.
Run. Oh, dude, rewatch it, dude. Fetching awesome.
Oh,
And I think you'll like it more on rewatch because I was blown away the first time I saw it. I know like there was going to be a coup, but I had no idea it'd be like that proportion.
It's funny because Rise of the Planet of the Apes looks really cheesy on the trailer, but then it was really good.
Done.
I
So good.
also watched Ted Bundy tapes and the other one, the
Shockingly evil
Yeah.
and disturbingly
those
terrible.
were good,
Yeah.
dude. It is
Dude, isn't Zac Efron so
psycho.
creepy in that movie?
Yes, dude. He does a really good performance in that movie. But yeah,
Okay, that is the one
I
thing.
enjoyed
But the
it.
one gripe we'll have about that movie is Ted Bundy was not that good looking. I was like, Ted Bundy's a good looking
Yeah.
bro, but
well, I know,
he's
I know.
not Zac
Like back in like
Efron
the
good looking.
90s,
Let's settle
people,
down.
people like were like, yeah, he's handsome.
Well, think about the time he lived, dude. He was like an 80s killer, right? Or a 90s killer. He was
Yeah.
pretty handsome for this day and age he lived
Yeah.
in, dude. All you
I
had to
guess.
be as charismatic was just like, because no one knew who you were. You could be anyone. You could move 10 blocks over when you didn't have the internet and cell phones. Like, no one knew who you were. You could move one town over, start all over again. So he was charming and witting as ever. And everyone was like, oh, what a nice guy. Oh my gosh, he wants to be a Mormon? Sure, we'll take him in as one of our own.
I know,
No.
dude. It's crazy.
Deceit. You evil man.
Yeah, dude, Grant watching the
How
Ted
dare
Bundy
you give us
tapes
that.
and listen to him talk about like I was the branch president when he got baptized, and I'm like, what that? I can't believe
That's
this.
right, dude.
Dude, he could.
He was
stab
a
everybody.
Latter-day
He was
Saint,
a
dude.
member. It was weird.
Join the church. Thanks, Ted. Setting the Latter-day Saints back another 150 years. Okay, so
Yeah, bro.
I watched some awesome movies. So did I mention I watched Wizard of Oz with my kids, right? Yeah, because the freaking Hotel Transylvania. So after that, I watched Cape Fear. I was like, it's time to watch an adult movie for me.
Wait, the original or the new?
I watched the Robert De Niro. Well, of course I did, dude. I texted you, Jordan. The video. I texted you the last minute.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking-
Oh,
Yeah. He goes, here we are, counselor. Just two lawyers working it out. It's like so over the top and funny, dude. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I don't want to spoil it for Cameron and Grant and anyone else that hasn't seen it. Are we going to do it on the pod sometime?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so maybe I won't spoil it, but it's so funny. I have so many things. And then the last quote I was just going to say, I won't spoil it because no context doesn't mean anything. It's just like, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, you've already sacrificed me, counselor. It's just so funny. Like, it's so over the top. It's so funny. Anyway, Robert De Niro, dude, what a... He turned me on. I'm like, dude, this is he turned me on to the Robert De Niro bandwagon. I'm like, you know what? I misjudged that guy because this is my favorite performance of his.
Yes.
Even though it's over the top
easily.
and it's silly. But I'm like, I like this kind. I don't like the Taxi Driver. I didn't care for...
I love it.
I mean, his performance is fine. Like, it's really good. But I don't like it. I don't like him. And maybe that's to his credit. I like this guy more than any of his other villains that he's played. Better than King of Comedy. Better than that. So, loved the performance. And it was a good movie overall. So, Cape Fear was a lot of fun. And I'm going to go watch the original. So, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, shit. I'm bound for the promised land. I'm bound for the promised land.
But I started the original, and it's just not nearly as good. Like, this one, it just moved. Like, it feels like it's moving at 100 miles an hour.
It's a fun, gripping 90s film for sure. Or
Yeah,
it's
just
like
the pacing,
79 or something like that. Yeah, it's like an old film.
So good.
It's funny to see it's Martin Scorsese, too. I'm like, it's so fun when you see a director that's, like, directing, like, a pretty standard movie, but there's a lot of good attention to detail. Like, when he grabs the rock and he's, like, wheezing, coughing, and... strikes it. You need to watch that
now
scene.
You know the Rick and Morty quote when the girl's like, I'm doing Cape Fear.
I'm doing Cape Fear. I finally understood that, too, yeah. I'm doing Cape Fear. Anyway, yeah, Loves Me Not. That was crazy. It made me think of, love you, I'm going to throw you under the bus here, but he once told me that you can love somebody so much you can bridge the gap between two people. Like, you can love someone so much, they don't even need to love you back. But if you loved them, you could create a relationship, and you love someone so powerfully, so strongly enough, even if they didn't love you back, you could have a working relationship to that person. Actual thing that he said, don't know if he still believes it, because I know he's happily married now, but I love you just made me laugh when it made me think of He Loves Me Not. Because this girl had a one-sided relationship, let's put it that way. Then I watched Green Room, freaking awesome. Just had to watch that movie again. And then I started No Time to Die, the new James Bond movie. I guess it's the old James Bond movie. And I gotta say, I already have some opinions about it. Have you guys already seen it?
Yeah.
No desire.
Okay.
I have.
Oh, you don't have any desire to see it?
I have.
No, I never liked James
Cameron,
Bond.
do you care if I say I haven't finished it yet, but I've seen half of it, and I had some thoughts. Like, one of my favorite thoughts was like, so James Bond is always a
The
woman.
fact that they didn't use Ana de Armas as their biggest flaw.
They used her for like
Not
2
enough.
seconds. It's really funny that you mentioned that. So James Bond is like notoriously known as like a womanizer, right? What's really funny in this movie, Ana de Armas like gets him in a wine cellar, and she's like helping him unbutton his shirt, and he's like, oh, maybe you should buy me a drink first. And she's like, oh no, like, we're not gonna, like, I'm just helping you get this tuxedo on. This is your costume or whatever. And James Bond seems taken aback. It's almost like hilarious, where he's like this old doddering guy, like, we're now, right? Like, I don't know why. It was so funny. It was like he expected this. I don't know why. It just made me laugh because I'm like, leave it to 2021 to like have morals like this, where we're like, even our fictitious character James Bond shouldn't be objectifying women. And so it happens twice. And then there's another woman character that comes into his life, and she's like, walks into the bedroom and she pulls off her wig, which made me laugh out loud. Don't know why I thought it was so funny. And then he goes, that's not the first or something like that. And then she's like, I'm not here to either. And it just made me laugh because I'm like, now James Bond can't even anymore. And it made me laugh a little bit because I'm like, we live in a time where it's like, it's so wrong to objectify
James
women.
Bond doesn't have game.
And
You
now
have
they're-
no shot, boys.
And now they're objectifying men, and they're like, there you go, see, now we live in an equal society. I'm like, we all agree. Like, I'm a conservative, pretty obvious. I'm libertarian, so I'm like, okay, I don't think objectifying men or women is right. I don't think either. But it's just so funny when they're like, no, you. Like, stop. I don't know, I think it's so funny. It's like, no. They're like slapping James Bond on the wrist. That's what it felt like, because he's always with the women in the movies. I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny, because it's
always the women.
I never condone the behavior. I just find it funny that there's this reckoning and it's happening on screen. I'm like, oh, this is culture influencing the movies I'm watching. Anyway, I just thought
Yeah,
that
did
was
you like
funny.
seeing the kid from Game Night and playing he called him a Mormon boy?
Yeah, he was great. Yeah, he's like, where'd you find this Book of Mormon? I was like, hey, shout out, dude. Where'd you find this Book of Mormon? That was so funny. Anyway, I love that actor. I think he's great. So I haven't finished it, and then Rami Malek, I like the beginning, and I'm like, holy crap, this is intense. It's like a horror movie at the beginning. And I didn't have subtitles. I'm like, is this in French? I can't. what the heck? I can't even understand this movie. So anyway, I'm
Yeah, I
excited.
thought that was a weird choice. Like, why? I'm like, I want to know what they're saying.
A lot of French, and I wanted to hear what she was saying, and then like later it's revealed who she was and who her husband was. And I was like, oh, but even then I'm like, I am still curious what she said. I'm like, I guess I had to speak French to understand. Maybe I could look it up on the internet on the.
Maybe the director's like, just say some things in French, huh? Doesn't matter what you say.
But she does say like your father was a traitor or something like that. Because I speak Spanish, I still understand like contextually what they were talking about, which is kind of cool. Not saying that Spanish and French are the same language.
That was one thing about West Side Story. They used a ton of Spanish that I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Can you speak American, please? We're in America after all.
Like it was a lot of Spanglish, but like there was still a lot of like Spanish conversations that I was like,
yeah, and the original one, Grant, it's like this. It's like, we live in America, and it's really hard to understand what they're saying.
And they were saying things like gracias and adios. Like, speak English, please. What the F?
That's totally like that episode of it's like, oh, I don't want your shitty shoesy. It's like, I can't understand your stupid accent.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, James Bond, it's just been funny. That's all. And like, yeah, he's blown halfway to kind of made me think of like a baptism by fire, because he gets blown up like 2 or 3 times in the movie, and he gets rejected by every woman. So I just find it funny. That's all. Like, because again, there was like this controversy coming out where it's like, oh, the James Bond movie's suffering, and they had to do a bunch of reshoots because they tried to go too woke that the movie wasn't even enjoyable with test audiences. But then I'm like, see, that's just the problem. Like, just make an entertaining film first, and if you want to do activism afterwards, after the fact, sure, you can always put these messages in. Look no further than Encanto, which is the last movie I want to bring up. This movie, did you guys see it? Did you see Encanto?
I thought it was
No,
fun.
I don't care.
Nothing happens. This movie's so dumb. I'm sorry. I'm gonna anger a lot of people. Like, nothing happens. There's no call to action. There's nothing. It's like, oh, my family. We live in this fun, magical house. And she's like, I'm gonna go on a quest. And she's like, wait, where should I go? She does nothing. She impacts no one. No one learns anything except like, oh, like the woke message is like, oh, you old people, step out of the way. The new younger generation has all the answers. Like, step aside, grandma. Your views are outdated, you freaking bigot. Like, get out of the way. Like, I'm good just the way I am. What's your gift? I don't have one. I'm just perfect the way I am. High love, low expectations, everybody. That's the world we live in. The new world order. High love. You love everybody so freaking much, but you have no expectations. You have no expectations for your kids. They can live off of you and mooch off of you into their 40s. They can be taking selfies at your funeral. Depraved, manic, sad society we live in today, and there's no expectations. Kids of the world, and I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm an angry guy yelling at the sky because we millennials have ruined the world. But I'm just saying, Encanto was silly. It was a silly movie. Nothing happened. Pretty forgettable. Very disappointed in the end. I don't think I know what you're up to, Disney. Just saying, there's a character. He can like shapeshift into any person he wants to. So it's a boy he like transitions into a girl, and he transitions into a guy. Like, I'm just like, I'm onto you, Disney. I'm watching you very closely. And again, getting rid of the old lady, and then like, you're perfect the way you are. I'm like, it's just the perfect movie that encapsulates our narcissistic society today. High love, low expectations. You don't need to do anything. You're just perfect the way you are. You want to be 800 pounds? You want to be morbidly obese? You're brave and beautiful, just the way you are.
Ty, would you say that you're so mad that you want to fight the whole world? Because I have an idea what that's like, but I decided to stop fighting that feeling because I figured the world would win.
That's deep, Karen. What movie is that from?
the movie we just
Some
watched.
really great movie that we should finish talking about.
Oh wait, was that
Yeah.
in this? I thought for some reason that was
That's
in.
when he talks to the druggy brother in the truck.
That's right. Oh, in the truck. That's right. That was so good.
Reminds me of when Ron Man was like quoting the movie, and you were like, "What are you
That's
talking
deep.
about?"
What is that from?
Wow.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, because you never watched Dave Made a Maze.
I definitely watched it, but I definitely forgot that quote. And it's so weird when someone quotes the movie and I can't tell they're quoting a movie. Anyway, put a little effort into it next time, huh? Okay. So anyway, I have nothing left to say except Encanto. Try harder, Disney. Their movie sucked. There's a reason it didn't even get the theatrical release, because no one would go see it unless it was on Disney. They didn't even bother asking for more money. They usually do Premiere Disney to watch the movie. No. No new subscribers went to Disney Plus to go see Encanto. And if they did, they immediately canceled their subscriptions afterwards. So, Jordan, what have you seen lately? What are you looking forward to?
Just rewatched Good Time and Uncut Gems.
Psycho.
Oh man, Safdie
Gosh
Brothers.
dang it, if the Safdie brothers aren't so good. I tried watching their other movie, Daddy Longlegs.
Jordan,
I know I'm going to
are you
finish it eventually, but
Do you not have enough anxiety and stress in your life? Is that why?
It just feels they're so good. Like the music, amazing. Because I was rewatching the new Halloween movie, and that music, dude, John Carpenter, if he isn't an amazing music composer. The only thing is I accidentally said in The Thing that he composed the music for The Thing, and I just learned that he did not compose that music. So I apologize for that fact. Like, I'm sure we say a lot of
We
things
should
wrong.
watch what we say on here, guys. I just want to say I was not present on a Ted Lasso episode, but we had a comment in the comment section on YouTube that said, "Why are you guys talking about this movie? You guys haven't said anything about the movie or anything about the characters. Do you guys even know what you're talking about?" Amen, commenter. I haven't listened to the episode, but there's going to be to pay. So mark my words. We will never let our quality fall below the line. We have a threshold, a very strong, sturdy threshold, and it's when I'm on the podcast. If I'm not on the podcast, it all falls apart. I leave for 1 week, and this is what you guys do. You guys get us a negative review on YouTube. Come on, what's the matter with you? I actually don't know what happened, but anyway, it makes me laugh. Like, did you have a good discussion? Like, explain yourself.
No. It's just
Low energy.
What I should say is the commenter said that I couldn't remember the names, and the problem was I couldn't remember the names, and I didn't have IMDb pulled up, and so I'm just like, oh yeah, this person, and like,
You know, there's this one white guy in the movie. Not the white guy.
and I kept referring to like
Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah,
Like, he has a hard last name.
and I'm like, yeah, the main girl, and I just would say
The
stuff like
main
that.
girl? I love
And
it.
yeah, so obviously upset her. And the thing is, like, we're just doing this to have fun. I'm not here to spew out facts, like, so.
Whoa, hey, listener, we love you. Come back, tell us honestly how you think we're doing. Don't count out of Jordan's dictatorship. No, we tried to bring quality, high-end content that you can take to your family and friends and be just rest assured, listeners.
Yeah, like Shane.
We are swaddling you in our caring, caressing arms, and we will rock you gently to sleep.
Yeah, this movie
As
has
you
Shane
listen
from
to
The
this, you fall
Walking Dead.
Coming from Ty, who scares away our followers, we lose subscribers.
How dare you, sir? I'm addressing the problems head on. So in the end, I wasn't there till Ted Lasso. So
You
I don't-
sicko for recommending I Saw the Devil.
You psychopath! We have such great listeners here, guys. Keep recommending.
And then we
these
lost a
movies.
subscriber, and then Ty's like, let's do Good Burger. Lost another subscriber.
How dare you? We all agreed. And now I want to do like movies like Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Like, I know that would raise some
No, Pet
eyebrows.
Detective's better.
Then we did Hot Tub Time Machine, lost another subscriber.
That one is your fault. You wanted
I
us
know.
to see it so badly.
So funny.
And Good Burger's hardly my fault. Like, that's a family movie we all grew up on. Anyway. So, guys, leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Check us out on Spotify, Instagram, Patreon. But you can't get the rest of the catalog here on iTunes or Spotify. You got to go over to YouTube. Check out the whole catalog. It's all
Because
there.
we're cheapskates.
Because we're no longer paying for you guys unless you guys want to fund us. So if you fund us and give us your money, your hard-earned money, so we can talk about movies, our true passion, we'll all quit our jobs and
Money.
leave our wives and our children and our obligations so we can do our true passion in life, which is the movies, cinema. Yes. Sweet, sweet cinema. Anyway, we love you listeners, and thank you again for the comments. Seriously, like, we're always trying to bring our best game, and some days, not every episode can be the best, so, especially when I'm not on it, so, I totally
Oh
get
my
it.
gosh, just
I
finish
just
the
love when we get a comment.
podcast.
I'm like, someone took time out of their day to write a comment. That makes me so happy. And if it's criticism, we can take it and like make ourselves stronger. So, but we love you listeners. Thanks again for tuning in. Leave us an email, 5-star review, and leave us a comment. We'll talk about it and we'll say where you're wrong and point out the holes in your theories and your point of view. Everybody, this has been Future Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Jane, get away from the door! All right.